as much fun as it is calling these scale degrees numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, they do actually have other names. They have other names in the scale. Okay, 1 is the most important one, so we'll do this not quite in this order, but we'll talk about this. Number 1 is called the tonic. Okay, so the tonic of C major is C. The tonic of E flat major is E flat. The tonic of D major is D. The tonic of X is X, right? If this is X major. The tonic of X major is X. Whatever your name of this is simply the tonic. Okay. Number 1 is called the tonic. Number 5 is next. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Number 5 is a really important note. It's not quite as important as the tonic, but arguably it's the most significant other note in the major scale. This one's called the dominant because it's so strong. Dominant. Okay. Now, a lot of people will tell you that number 4 is called the subdominant, and that's correct. But sometimes their reasoning is wrong. Subdominant. Check this out. If we have our scale like this, let me start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just the notes in our scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. A lot of people will say, well, here is your dominant, and subdominant is right below. Simply just right below. That's why it's sub. Sub means below. It's below the dominant. But that's a little weird, and here's where it gets weird. If we have 6 and 7, now this information is incorrect, by the way, but we will see why in a second. Watch this. Number 3 is called the mediant. And the reason is because it comes in the middle, in the medium between the tonic and the dominant. It's kind of a middle ground, right? So that's 3. Now, there's one more called the submediant, and by this logic, the submediant should be this one. And it's not. It's not the submediant. It actually isn't here. It's actually number 6. It's number 6. And now you're probably confused and wondering why. Here's why. Remember this logic, how this was dominant and this is subdominant? That's not right. So let's ignore that, and I'll show you the real reason why those work out the way they do. If we continue our scale, but you go down instead, if you actually go sub this way, instead of sub this way, you go sub of the tonic, you get 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like this. Remember that dominant means 5, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we find our dominant. Now, if we go sub in the same direction, or the same number of spaces, but the opposite direction, we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We land on 4, and that's why this is the subdominant. That's why this is the subdominant. That's why this is the dominant. Okay? Using that logic, we will see how the mediant works. The mediant is number 3. This is the mediant. Okay. And mediant is 3, so all we do is skip 1, like that, and we get our mediant. So same thing for our submediant. If we do the same thing and come down this way, we skip this one, and we get our submediant here, the submediant. Okay, so now it makes much more sense. It's the mediant between the subdominant and the tonic. I'll write tonic here. So our dominant is here, our subdominant is down here, our median is here, our submedian is down here. Okay. And number 2 is called, there's 2 more names that we have to talk about, number 2 and number 7. Number 2 is the supertonic. Supertonic. Super means above, tonic means above the tonic. So this is simply above the tonic. That's it. And finally, this one is called the leading tone. A leading tone. Number 7 is the leading tone. And the reason behind this is because it leads you back to your starting pitch. If you go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and you stop, it's really annoying. You want to hear do and get back. So it leads you back to the tonic. It takes you back home, if you will. There's actually a little story about this. Apparently when Mozart was a boy, this might not be a real story, but it's kind of cute anyway. Mozart was a child, and his father would come to him in the morning and say, Mozart, it's time to get up, and he would say, and not want to get up. And so his father would go over to the piano, and he would simply play, probably on C, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then he would walk away. And Mozart, because he's very musically inclined and because he needed to hear the completion, he went over to the piano and finally played the last note that his father left out and hit do, and he was up for the rest of the day. It's called Mozart's Alarm Clock. Mozart's Alarm Clock.